Hey, welcome back. Today we are working on boats, not the kind that float, the kind that drive on the road. 76 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, and this one's got no headlights. Now, checked all the fuses. There are no fuses that control the headlights for this car. There is fusible links that come from the starter into the main harness. Those were all checked. They were all good, so now we have to start searching for problems inside. Checked all the fuses and they are in good working order. Even the circuit breakers that are in there, there's two. One's for the wipers, one's for the power seat. And now we got to start digging around to see if we have power coming up to the switch. Peel back the carpeting and get a look at your dimmer switch on the floor. This one, I don't know. Looks like it may have been melted a little bit on that terminal. Check for some voltage down here to see if it's present. And keep looking eventually back up to the switch to see if we have power going there. Well, that appears to be melted. We're going to test this to see if it has continuity in it and clean up these connections. Alright, we got the dimmer switch out. We got a multimeter here and we're going to be checking for continuity. That terminal was definitely melted down. So we're going to clean all that up. The switch actually tests good. You will have continuity across these two terminals or these two terminals. So we're going to clean this all up, make sure the connections are good, and we're going to throw that back in the car, and we got to take a closer look at the headlamp switch. Rather than trying to repair that connector, just cut the whole thing off and put solderless terminals to replace it. You just have to put the wires back in the same place. Quick, easy repair. I'm going to pull out all the screws and remove this cover so we can hopefully get to the back of that switch easily. We're at the bottom of the headlight switch right here. I have power going to that light green wire all the time, which should be something going in. I don't have a schematic for this, so we got to kind of piecemeal it out. And I have output going to one of them when you turn the parking lights on, nothing when the headlights come on. So the switch itself actually may be burned out only on the headlamp portion of it. So more investigating and try to find a schematic for this thing too. All right, with the parking lamps on, we've got power to those two gray wires right there, and then one of them here, if I could show you at the same time, is the one for the lamps because it is hooked to the dimmer switch, and the dimmer is working, so we know that portion of the headlamp switch is working, but we still have no output to the actual headlamps, so got to do a little more digging. The yellow line going into the bottom of the switch should be the power in for the headlamps, but I got a test light on here and we're not getting anything. But when I move around this connector, now I got power. I'll turn the headlights on now, see what happens. Goes out, and now it's dead again. I got to take apart that connector here and see what's up with that. Probably has a crappy connector in there or something burned up. Well, here's my problem. Melted down connector inside here. And the other end too. What was it caused by? Maybe high resistance from the dimmer switch being bad, but obviously once it started heating up, it melted it, and we got nothing here. So I am not going to replace this plug. We are going to cut off the yellow wire there and on the other end, and then bypass the plug with solderless connectors and another piece of wire. Okay, we bypassed the plug. We had a solderless connector, Everything else is still plugged in. Now, we should have power coming over here to the yellow line. And we do. If we turn the lights on, let's see if it stays on. And if it does, that means we should have headlights. Yes. And the high beam indicator is showing, and let us see. Ooh. Yes. Let there be light. And it was good. Let's switch to low beams now and see if they are working. Should be. All right. That bulb needs to be replaced. It's full of condensation. Now I get to put everything back together again here. Absolutely no parts were bought. Just a matter of poking around and diagnosing the situation. I would have never thought that a connector in there under the dashboard would have been the problem for this. I was betting on the dimmer switch, but more than likely the dimmer switch had high resistance and caused that one terminal to kind of get some heat in it and burn up and melt. So this was a strange one for me. So if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and a like. And subscribe too, that'll help me. Now, I got a boat to drive.